Hello, my name is Trevor Muller-Hegel, and this is Split Perspective Studios' Archmagus. Archmagus is a game for 2 to 3 players and is a deck builder, engine builder, programming game. 108 cards. I would like to say thank you really quick to our Patreon supporters who have been supporting us for almost an entire month, and I'm very excited to introduce the first print and play game. Let's dive in. Alright, so Archmagus is a game for 2 to 3 players, plays in about 60 minutes, and it's a deck building, engine building game. You are all competing to become the next Archmagus of your order. It has multiple elements that you're trying to increase, and you're actually trying to decrease other players' elements and make them a little bit weaker. There's a lot of deck manipulation, deck programming. Overall, it just has a lot of little things going on, but it's actually only 108 cards total, and only about 80 or so cards actually used in the deck building mechanic. So it's actually a pretty small game that packs a pretty big punch. So the starter deck is made up of 10 cards, 2 of each of these types here, each one based off of a different element. So the 4 core elements are going to be water, earth, fire, and air, and then the star here represents kind of a wild or a general element. The calm wave allows you to draw an extra card for the start of your next round. So you'll start with 6 cards instead of 5. Mystic Missile allows you to discard or have your opponent discard a card from the top of their draw pile. Rock Throw allows you to discard a card from the bottom of their action deck, which we'll get into that when we get into programming. Ignite allows you to destroy one of your own cards, allowing you to cull your deck faster earlier on. And then Serenity allows you to draw an extra card from your draw pile into anywhere in your action deck, but at random. And those are the 5 starter cards. So this engine for the game actually allows you to increase your elements over time. I have 4 elements: earth, fire, air, and water. As you increase this element, you actually are able to bank the element as you use the cards. Let's say, I'll actually give an example here. If you were to use Ignite, which is the fire element card from the starter set, then you would just bank that. If you get to level 4, or if you get to 4 on your bank, then you can spend all that and grow to a level 1 fire. That means that whenever this comes around, this ability comes around, you can use this for free. When this ability allows you to destroy a card that is either in your discard or action deck. Put that back. So as you get stronger, the first tier is 4, the second tier is 6, the third tier is 8. So as you're able to kind of bank this and grow this, you're able to either focus on a singular element or you can focus on multiple elements, getting all of them stronger at the same time. So then you're kind of figuring out which kind of cards you want to go for, figure out how you want to focus, and your overall strategy for the game. As you get stronger as well in each element, you gain prestige, which leads towards victory points, and we'll talk about victory points later on. One of the core mechanics of Archmagus is that it is a deck builder, although it's not the primary or the only mechanic. So in this example, I'll show that you will be able to spend a resource. So that could either be just straight element that you've gained through, this would be from Serenity cards that have wind attached to them. And then if you want to spend 4 of them, you could get a changing wind that is placed face up in your discard pile. However, if you've been practicing with a specific element for a while, and you're at level 3 or 2 or 1, those help pay for that cost as well. So that same cost of 4 for a fireball would actually be only 1, and that would also allow it to be added to your deck, or your discard pile. Alright, so programming for Archmagus consists of drawing a hand of 5 cards, realize I was going off the show. And then from those 5 cards, you determine the order in which you want them to be played. So, rock throws are aggressive cards. They will attack your opponent. Serenity will help you in the current round, so you might want to have that on top. And then Mystic Missile is a random element, and it also can attack your opponent for a small effect. So maybe what we want to do is something along these lines. If you really want to have Fire Element this turn, then maybe make sure that your rock throw is on the bottom in case you get rock thrown, because that targets the bottom card of your action deck. So, we have our order. That was very smoothly done. You place it face down in front of you, and then on your turn, you reveal 1 card at a time. So Serenity allows you to draw a random card without looking at it and placing it anywhere in your deck. So if you want to protect yourself from rock throws, you can put it on the bottom. If you want to have it ready for you to go on your next turn, throw it there. If you have a certain card that you know is in there that you kind of want to protect a little bit more, just put it around there. A lot of cards deal with action deck manipulation, so other cards will actually try to affect your action deck, especially the wind element cards. So it's good to kind of keep an idea of what you want to keep protected by keeping that closer to the center of your deck. The goal of Archmagus is to achieve a certain number of prestige points by the end of any round. So currently, rituals and artifacts are always considered to be in play. They're kind of permanents, which is why there are cards that are able to eliminate them. Your goal is to achieve 15, let's say, prestige points. Currently I have 5 here and 4 here, which makes 9, and then my levels and my elements are also counted. So altogether here I have 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I have 14 total points without playing any additional cards. When I start playing cards, obviously I've already signaled that it's going to be the end of the game if we're playing for 15. And then it all depends on how many cards are played, and whoever has the most cards by the end of this round, or the most points, excuse me, by the end of this round, wins. Archmagus is a deck builder, a programmer, and an engine builder. But it was inspired by many games that came before it. So, one such game being the grandfather of all deck builders, Dominion. Dominion is a less revered game now, but in its heyday was one of the favored games of deck builders. It's also been inspired marginally by Thunderstone. Thunderstone has a bit of an adventure to it and a bit of a more exciting feel where you're going through dungeons and slaying monsters, not necessarily a versus game where it's a player versus player aspect, but it does have a lot of similarities. Probably the biggest influencer of this game, Star Realms. Noting the size, it is a very small game that is very interesting and brings people back time and again. The main changes I made were that it is no longer a health-based system, so that is a very attacking-oriented and you're trying to defeat your opponents, where this game you're competing for a prize, essentially. So yeah, that's the core influences of Archmagus. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.
Recording when you're ready. Sorry, one second. I'd drag something here. Perfect. It looks good even if it doesn't feel good.
Abe likes to pamper me.
Beautiful.